Hey Fit Like YouTube, welcome back to another episode of the Black Pearl. Okay, so on this episode, the Black Pearl is currently going through a storm. We've got Cyanobacteria, and the tank's looking pretty crap, I must admit. You can start to see the cyano getting quite thick on this rocks here. You can see the stringy bits. So it's just gradually getting worse each day. Am I worried about it? Nah, not really. It's just one of those things. I think every tank gets it at some point. So I've kind of got a combination between cyano and diatoms, which is all pretty much expected on a new setup. Obviously, a lot of reefers will probably hide this, only wanting to show their tanks when they're looking really nice and pristine, but the Black Pearl, we're going to document everything good and bad. So I'm just going to video this and see how we get on. Okay, it's a week later, and as you can see, it's getting really bad now. Kind of think it's going to get worse before it gets better. The sandbed's absolutely covered in it. The water's a wee bit cloudy because I've just blasted the rocks, cleaned the rocks a bit. Just a way to do a quick small water change. I'm not going to touch the sandbed, I'm just going to leave it. Just mess it up, it just comes back again anyway. Alright, so fast forward a bit. As you can see, the diatoms and cyano are in full effect now. Little oxygen bubbles all over the place. Covered the rocks. Yep, it's pretty nasty. So, cyano and diatoms are fairly taken over this tank just now, and this is the reason that I've not bothered getting any corals yet. I'd rather just wait till I get this all stabilised before I go and get corals. Right, so it's time to open up a can of whip ass on this cyano. So basically I've been looking at my filtration. I'm looking at this deep sandbed tank that I've made, and there's absolutely nothing happening in this tank, not a thing. And the reason is I kind of took a chance on it, because I didn't want to waste the sand, but this sand is the wrong type of sand for a deep sandbed. You really need the sugar fine stuff or the oolite stuff. Which this clearly isn't, and it's just not working, it's not doing its job. The other problem that I've kind of clicked onto is this refugium here. It actually needs 30 pounds of miracle mud, and I've only got 20, so I don't actually have the depth required for it to do the denitrification. So this really is just wasted. It's not actually doing anything because it's not got enough miracle mud in it. And because it's quite expensive stuff, I only bought the 2 bags, which cost like £140. So there's no way I was buying more. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll siphon out the top dirt and stuff, and then I'll scoop out the miracle mud out of here, and then what I'm going to do is I'll put it into the deep sandbed tank. The sand that's in the deep sandbed tank, I'll just chuck that out, because it's not doing anything anyway, and I'll just get it all swapped over. So I'll get rid of this deep sandbed out of here, and I'll stick this miracle mud into it, and then hopefully that will give me a nice depth of miracle mud, which should start working a lot better, because it's definitely not working just now because it's just not got the depth. Okay, so I've got all the miracle mud out now. I've took the wee baffle out. I've shortened this return pipe from the reactor. That fits into that section nicely. So yep, this is all cleaned out. I've put my heater in here. I've also got some poly filter on this section, just to help try and clear the water a bit. I've now got the miracle mud into the deep sand bed tank. That's a really nice thick bed in here now, so hopefully this will work a lot more efficiently than it was in the last place, because it clearly was not doing its job because it didn't have the depth that it needed. Other thing I did was I got rid of the Cheeto. It wasn't really doing too well, and I think it's partly because of the light I've got. It's not very bright. So I've got some Clerpa. Hopefully this will work a lot better and start taking out some of the nitrates and stuff. So we'll see how that gets on. I'm gonna see about getting a better light for here, like, because this wee energy saving bulb's not doing a very grand job. So see if I get a wee clip on light or something. Okay, so the next weapon in my arsenal, I've got a bag of carbon. I've stuck it and tied it underneath the grid in this section, so there's plenty of water flowing through it. So hopefully this is going to be something else that's just going to help kill this cyano. Right, this is Roaphos that I've got in my reactor. I've had it in here for about 3 weeks now, so I'm going to chuck that out. I was going to replace it with 1 litre of Roaphos. However, I've decided to go with this stuff instead and give this a try. Main reason being that the company that I ordered the Roaphos from sent me an email telling me that there was going to be a wee bit of a delay. So rather than waiting, I decided to give this a try. I had to pay an extra £7 for it, like, but hopefully it's going to be good stuff. So I'll give it a try, see how it goes. If it's not any good, I'll swap it and change it back to the Roaphos. Okay, so I've got it in the reactor. Rinsed it all out, and it says that it's to be very slow, only like 10 litres per hour to go through it, so a nice slow flow. And this section here, I've added 2 7-inch 200 micron filter socks just to catch any loose debris and stuff that comes off the, well, it's good, it's still kind of a wee bit hazy kind in the reactor, but this will just catch any of the loose particles, save it trashing the tank, because the tank looks trashed enough. So yep, that'll hopefully start dropping the phosphates. Also, the skimmer in the back there, I built a wee glass shelf to raise it up because it wasn't at its optimum water level. So I built that wee shelf, so that's got the skimmer working perfect now. It's at the right height, so it's starting to produce a lot more skim, mate, which is what you want. Because I raised it, I had to cut that wee filter sock holder a wee bit more to fit, but that's perfect now. And I've also changed the Ahoy pump, the Compact 3000. It was just making too much noise because it was being held back, restricted too much again. So I've added this Ahoy Compact, and it's a 600, and it's working a lot better for the reactor. There's no any noise anymore. Okay, so next battle against the cyano is my lighting. Kind of was thinking about my halide bulbs. After I did a wee bit of research, I discovered that the bulbs are actually a year old. I've had them a year, so obviously the spectrum's changed and it's maybe contributing. Other thing I did was I changed my pumps. I did have one on the left and one on the right. However, I've put them both onto the right hand side, and I've also added a little tons 6045. You can't really see, you can maybe see it just in the underneath the rock there. I've actually moved it a wee bit to down now. So yep, so there's plenty of flow, and I've actually got the pumps, both of them are on H1 full blast. Okay, my new bulbs have arrived. BLVs 14,000 Ks. That's them in the tank now. So hopefully this will be the proper spectrum, which won't be so favourable to the cyano and diatoms. Okay, so I've had a few questions about my overflow. One particular subscriber, James McLeod, this is how I've got mine set up. As you can see, I've just got like a Durzo on the pipe that's above the water, and I've got this shorter pipe that's attached to a gate valve, and I've got it fine tuned to a full siphon, and that one pipe is coping with the full return pump. And here you can see the pipe that's below the water surface there, and it's got a full siphon, and there's my Durzo, and it's just like the spare, and that's my return. But this Durzo, that's just like the spare, so if that first pipe gets blocked for any reason, this one is attached to a gate valve, but the gate valve's fully open, so anything blocks that wee pipe in there, that other pipe was more than capable of handling it. And as you can see, it's dead quiet, really silent. And you can hear a wee bit of water just now, but that's just all this water from my pumps that are on full blast just now, so it's making a wee bit of a splashing noise. But yep, the overflow is totally silent, and it works perfect. So this gate valve here, the one on the left there, closest to the skimmer, this is the one that's got the full siphon, and you just fine tune it, and it goes straight into that filter sock. And this is coping with the water flow from that big Fluval SP4 return pump that I've got, and it's no problem at all. This one here is just a spare. And I did have two filter socks on here, Ken, and it wasn't until after a while I thought, what the heck is the point of that, like, because there's no water going down that end, Ken. So what I've done is I've actually removed it, and now I've just used it to swap over that main sock more often. So I change the filter sock every 4 days. Usually about the 4th day it's kind of needing changed. Obviously maybe it'll be needing changed less frequent once the water quality gets a bit better, but because it's a bit crappy just now, every 4 days it needs to be changed. So, but having that extra sock, that's a bonus, like, so I just change them, no problem. Right, so whilst filming this weir section, it's gave me an idea to build a cover, just to block the light, save any algae growing down in the weir. It'll also prevent any fish from jumping into the weir, and it'll help cut down on any noise. I mean, there's no any noise anyway, it's pretty much silent, but every little helps, as they say. Okay, so I got the acrylic, measured it, cut it to size. I just used a handsaw, and for glue I just used the PVC cement that I used for my plumbing. So it was just everything that I had at hand. So left it for a day, and it's now gone solid, so it's ready to get it put onto the tank. See, test it for a fit. Okay, so here we go, it fits perfect, really happy with that. This is going to stop any fish jumping into the weir, and also cut down on all the light that's going in there, so there's going to be no algae in the weir now, so that's fantastic. That's pretty much it for this episode, so we'll call this Cyano part 1, and I'll do a part 2 in a few weeks once we see the effects on all this weaponry I've started firing at the Cyano, and we'll see if it like it is then. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Till next time, bye bye.